All right, shalom, shalom. All praises Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Say call Allah Abanawa Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Just want to go over a few precepts in Psalm 97 through the Spirit of the Most High God. First and foremost, we give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for just giving us the spiritual power of discerning the scriptures, right, and going through these scriptures, going through these precepts. Studying, right, having that zeal. These are all spiritual powers, right? Just being able to have the the desire to meditate on the precepts, to meditate on this law day in and day out, and to keep these commandments, right? Making that the whole duty, right? Let's get that Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, right? Chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, right? So this is one of the things that we long for, the things that we love to do, right? Is to go into these scriptures and to get all the meat off the bone, so to speak, right? Knowing how to read these scriptures with the eye of the Most High, right? And being able to have this as a part of our spiritual gift. Right. And so, a lot of times, our people just read the scriptures, read the Psalms, read the Proverbs, and it sounds good. Right. It's cool for like a bumper sticker. But, at the end of the day, this is our livelihood, man. Right. These laws are our instructions on life, so to speak. Right. And so it makes sense for us to go through this with a fine tooth comb, so to speak. Right. To go through this and be able to understand what's being said first and foremost, right? And then to be able to teach it and to regurgitate it properly. Shalakia. So, with that, I just kind of want to get into this Psalm 97. It's not too much to it, but it's a lot of good information, a lot of good edification, and a lot of good stuff, as always with the scriptures, man. So I'm just going to get into it. Psalms 97 and 1. It says, the Most High reigneth, or the Lord reigneth, right? Let the earth rejoice. Let the multitude of isles be glad thereof, right? So the Most High is reigning, man, right? And when and let the earth rejoice goes into, when the Most High, matter of fact, let's get that in Isaiah 14, right? Let's get Isaiah 14, right? Because we understand when the wicked are in rulership, the earth is not in a rejoiceful state. But when the saints and when the Most High reign on this earth, then, a lot of things are going to be set in order. A lot of things are going to be set as it is because the earth is given to the children of Israel, right? So I got two precepts kind of just going off that through the Spirit, man. Let's go to 2nd Esdras 6 and 54. All praises. All right, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 54. Hold on, where am I at? Here we go. All right, it says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, right? So Adam was made Lord of all the creatures. Hey, that includes these other nations. That includes all creatures, right? Animals, human beings, Edomites, right? We're Lord of all these, right? All the earth, the ground, right? And we all come from Adam, right? But the Most High's, I guess you could say his love for a certain lineage will go Adam, Seth, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, just roughly going through the lineages, right? It says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So the ones that he has chosen is the Israelites, right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. So it's time to wake up and understand the Most High chose us. All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sakes. So there you have it, right? The world was made for the children of Israel. All right. Let's get Isaiah 14, right? And let's start at verse 5, right? It says, the Most High have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers. Verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hinder it. All right, so, we're going into Babylonians, but, that same spirit is afflicting our people today, right? That same spirit of smoting the people in wrath, right? The people that's being smitten in wrath is the Israelites, right? With a continual stroke, right? Which means it's going to be continuous, right? He that ruled the nations. Now, who else is ruling the nations right now, right? We're talking about the so-called white man, the Edomite, right? In anger. And he's ruling the other nations in anger, man. Is persecuted and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, right? So this is when they are when they are in change, right? And when they are in when they lose their position of leadership, right? Then the whole earth is going to be more at rest. The whole earth is going to be quiet. They're going to go into singing, right? Verse 8, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us, right? So that just goes to show you, when the Most High is reigning and the people that he has chosen reigns, then everything is going to be, quote unquote, smooth. We're going to be able to rule properly, right? We're going to be able to have that balance, right? And we understand that the Most High is a very well-balanced power, man. Let's get that in Proverbs 11:1. Right? It says a false balance is an abomination to the Most High, but a just weight is his delight. So we're going to have the earth balanced, right? We're going to have that earth properly balanced. You see the Edomites, man, the wicked, when they in control, they cutting down trees for no damn reason, man, right? Birds are destroyed at a numerous rate. Hey, I just saw something where it said 20% of the wolf population, it was an article, 20% of the wolf population in one of these states has decreased in one weekend, right? In one weekend, and we know who's doing these huntings, man. We know who's doing all the killing, right? It's the so-called white man. So when the white man is in rulership, you got animals going extinct. You got animals, people going extinct, right? You got real life trees that no longer exist. All right. So let's get back to it. Psalm 97:1, right? The Most High reigneth. Let the earth rejoice. So the earth is going to rejoice when the Most High is back in rulership on this earth, when the Most High is reigning on this earth, right? He's always reigning. But what I'm saying is when everything is set, thus saith the Most High, and the people who govern the earth are chosen by the Most High, then the whole earth is going to be rejoiceful, right? Let the multitude of the owls be glad thereof. Verse 2, clouds and darkness are round about him. Righteousness, right, and judgment are the habitation of his throne, right? And we know what that righteousness is, right? Right, that righteousness is the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, let's get that. Psalm 119:142. Right? It's a Psalm, chapter 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth, right? So the righteousness is everlasting, meaning it's never going to end, right? But that law is that righteousness. All right. Verse 144, same book chapter, right? Psalm 119:144. The righteousness of thy testimony is everlasting. Give me understanding and I shall live, right? So this is how you live, by keeping these commandments, man. You live by keeping righteousness, right? So let's go back to it. Verse 2, clouds and darkness are round about him. Righteousness and judgment are the habitation of his throne. Hey, the Most High loves that judgment, man. The Most High loves that righteousness. All praises. Verse 3, a fire goeth before him and burneth up his enemies round about, right? And who are the enemies of the Most High, right? Who are the enemies of God? Because people say, oh, God don't have enemies. God loves everybody. All right, let's get this in Psalm 83. All right, let's get the most wanted list of the Most High. The Most High had one most wanted posters lined up, dead or alive. These are the nations that's going to show up. Right? This is Psalm 83 and 2. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee lifted up the head. Right? So these enemies, they hate the Most High. They hate the Israelites. And you see it today, right? Not even just on the so-called white man. You can go to the Arab, right? You can go to the African, the Chinese man, the Japanese man. They do all kind of things to afflict our people, man. So it ain't just an anti-white idea, man. This book is not just anti-white. It's anti all nations that's not Israel, because all nations had Israel in subjection, man. They had us in slavery at one time or another, right? It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, right? And the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah, right? So these are all those nations that hate our people, man, that had us in subjection, that the Most High has to come by and judge, righteous judgment, right? Right? So the Most High is going to burn those enemies that's round about. Okay? Verse 4, his lightnings enlighten the world. The earth saw and trembled, right? His lightnings enlighten the world. Now, what's the world? All right? His lightnings enlighten the world. The earth saw and trembled. So first, let's get the light, right? What's the light? How do you enlighten, right? It says his lightnings enlightened. How are you enlightened? This is Proverbs 6 and 23. For the commandment is a lamp, right? And the law is light. So the law is the light, right? And reproofs of instruction are the way of life, right? So his lightnings, or the law, enlighten the world. So how can you be enlightened in the world? And who is the world, right? Let's get Isaiah 45 and 17, right? Isaiah 45:17 goes into kind of like a prereq, or however you want to call it. But this will be the scripture that goes with John 3:16. All right. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Right. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. OK, so we're going to be saved from our enemies. Right. Now, we just told you who our enemies are. Right. So salvation goes to the salvation from our enemies. And who are the enemies of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Right. The nations we just read in Psalm 83. All right. But let's prove that salvation goes into salvation against our enemies. All right. This is Luke 1 and 68. Let's start at 68. Right. Blessed be the most high power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which had been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. So those are those nations that we just listed in Psalm 83, right? They all hated us because they had us in captivity at one time or another. All right. Let's get a precept real quick to that. Let's get Psalm 9 real quick. Let's get Psalm 9. Matter of fact, let's get yeah, let's get Psalm 9. All praises. Psalm 9, let's start at verse 14. It says that I may show forth, this is Psalm 9 and 14, that I may show forth all thy praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in thy salvation. Okay, that's that salvation word, right? Verse 15, the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made, right? Those heathens, the heathens, Salakia, are those nations, right? That's not Israel, okay? The heathen are sunk in the pit that they made. They made their own bed, man. Now they got to sleep in it, right? And the net which they hid is their own foot taken, right? The Most High is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hand, right? Hagayon Salah. All praises, right? Is that what I wanted? Let's go down to verse 20. All right, let's keep reading. Verse 17. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget the Most High. For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. Arise, O Yahweh, let no man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O Yahweh, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Salah. All right. So with that, you know what I'm saying, you realize what's going on, man. The Most High, he's judging these nations for what they've done, right? And that's our salvation, is when the Most High come back and put a sword to these wicked people, man, for what they continue to do. All right, they continue to do these things, man. All praises. This is Psalms 18 verse 3. Psalms 18 and 3. I will call upon the Most High, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. So there you have it. All right, there you have it, man. We get that salvation from our enemies, man, and all that hate us. All right. All right, all praises. So let's go back to Psalm 97, verse 4. All right. His lightnings enlighten the world. The earth saw and trembled. All right. Verse 5. It says, the hills melted like wax at the presence of the Most High. All right. So that hill, those hills isn't like the dirt and the gravel and rocks and mud, things like that, right? Those hills are nations, right? Those hills are different people, different nations. They're like little nations, right? Then you got mountains that's like other kingdoms, right? Other monarchies, other dynasties, so to speak. So the hills are like the little dynasty, right? These little nations, these little coalitions, so to speak, right? So the hills melted like wax at the presence of the Most High. So when they see the Most High, man, they're going to be destroyed, man. They're going to be burned. Thus said the Most High, right? At the presence of the Most High of the whole earth. All right, let's get that. All right, let's get Isaiah 2. Let's get Isaiah 2. All right, this is the book of Isaiah. All right, chapter 2. Let's get verse 12. It says, for the day of the Most High of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty. So every one, that's human beings, right? And upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. So the pride, the people that are lofty, the people that are high esteem, they're going to be brought down low, right? And upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up. So like I said, these aren't so much as earth, right? This is a prophecy going towards these nations, right? That are lifted up, that are proud, right? That have got the pride off the backbones of our people, man, off the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. All right, let's see verse 15, Isaiah 2 and 15. And upon every high tower and upon every fence wall. Right? Now, who got the wall, right? America was talking about build a wall, right? They always want to keep people out. They want to keep our Hispanic brother, our Issacharite brothers and sisters out of their own land, right? Our Issacharite brothers was here first. And, you know, due to the damn devil coming over here and slaughtering our people and our tribesmen and our family, man, they ended up taking that land over. And then they kicked our people out, man, and told them they got to learn the customs of America before they come back, which is madness, right? Verse 16, and upon all the ships of Tarshish and upon all pleasant pictures. Verse 17, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, right? So that loftiness of that man is going to be bowed down. They're going to be able to, they're going to have to bow down. They're going to be brought low, right? And the haughtiness of men shall be made low. And the Most High alone shall be exalted in that day, right? And who exalts himself the highest, right? Out of all nations on the earth, who exalted himself to be like the Most High? The so-called Edomite, man, right? The so-called Edomite has done that. right? Let's get this in Obadiah 1, right? This is Obadiah 1, and let's see verse 3, right? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, right? So this is saying that they're in a high habitation. Hey, but on top of that, that's metaphorically, but realistically speaking, who lives out in the Hollywood Hills, right? Who lives up in these high rises? Who lives up in these high estates, right? It's the rich, man. And who's the richest man off on the earth, man? Right? Monetarily speaking, we're talking about the so-called white man, the Edomite, right? It says, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Hey, that's the pride of Esau, man. They think nobody's going to take them out, right? Though thou exalted thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Most High. All right. Let's get Psalm 104. All right. It's a Psalm 104, verse 29. It says, though thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die, and return to their dust. Okay. Hold on. Shalaki. All right. Let's start that over. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die, and return to their dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. The glory of the Most High shall endure forever. The Most High shall rejoice in his works. He looketh on the earth, and it trembleth. He toucheth the hills, and they smoke. Right? So those hills are nations, man. It just told you right there, right, that you know, these are different spirits, right? They're talking about death, right? It says the Most High shall rejoice in his works in verse 31. So how can a literal hill have works, right? No, these hills are actually people, man. All right, let's get Nahum 1, 5 through 3. Nahum chapter 1, verse, not 5 through 3, 1 through 5, 3 through 5. Nahum 1, verse 3. The Most High is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. So the Most High is, slow to anger, but you're not going to get away from his judgment, right? You're not going to get acquitted, right? The Most High hath his way in the whirlwind and in storm, and in clouds are dust of his feet. Verse 4. He rebuketh the sea. So how can the Most High rebuke the ocean, right? How can he rebuke the sea if we're talking about a literal body of water, right? And make it dry and dry up all the rivers. Now, he can do that. We saw in Exodus, right? He dried up the land and allowed Israel to cross, right? But let's continue to read on, right? It says, the Most High hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and in the clouds are dust of his feet. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry and drieth up all the rivers. Bashan languished, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languished. Verse 5, the mountains quake at him. So the mountains going to quake at the Most High, and the hills melt. So that's that scripture right there. The hills are going to melt down, man. And the earth is burned at his presence. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein. All right. So these hills going to be melting. I got a few more precepts, man. Let's get Isaiah 41. Isaiah 41, verse 15. Isaiah chapter 41, all right, verse 15, it says, yeah, here we go. Shalaki, I was in 42. It says, Isaiah 41:15, behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff, right? So again, this is not talking about literal mountains and literal hills. The Most High is going to give us that teeth to go about and deliver that judgment to those other nations, All right. So let's get back Salakia. Let's get Psalms 97 and 6. All right. It says the heavens declare his righteousness, right? And all the people see his glory. So who saw the Most High's glory? All right. Who saw Yahweh's glory? Let's get that in Deuteronomy 5. Deuteronomy 5, verse 24. It says, and ye said, behold, the Most High our power have showed us his glory and his greatness. Well, let's start at verse 1. All right. Deuteronomy 5 and 1. Let's get context. All right. All praises. Deuteronomy 5 and 1. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep and do them. We're talking about Israel, right? Verse 24. And ye said, behold, the Most High, our power, Israel, right, have showed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. So the Most High showed his greatness and glory to you Israelites, man, not to these other nations. We have seen this day that the Most High doth talk with man, and he liveth. All right. So we know who the Most High showed his glory to. All right. Let's get 1 Chronicles 16, verse 24. All right. It says, declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations. So that's what we do, man. We declare the Most High's glory. And when he delivered us from that, from the affliction of the enemies around us, man, that's how he gonna get his glory. Same thing happened with Egypt. Most High raised up a mighty evil rulership just to bring them down, so the whole earth knew who Yahweh was, man. And that's a beautiful thing, that the Most High fights for you, right? The Most High loves you, right? This is Psalms 97 and 7. Confounded be all they that serve graven images, right? So if y'all serving them unks, y'all serving the Buddha, y'all serving wood and stone, the cross, the damn Kaaba stone, that crescent and moon, whatever that star that Islam has, man, that's a graven image, right? It says you're going to be confounded by doing that, man. That boast themselves of idols, worship him, all ye gods, right? Now, the Most High does not like these other nations' powers that y'all be worshiping, man. You know, y'all be worshiping all these celebrities and entertainers, man, and basketball players and icons and entertainers, man. The Most High said he don't like that, right? Let's get this in Jeremiah 2 and 28. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. And look, we getting in trouble, man. We the ones getting killed in these streets. You know what I'm saying? We the ones that's wrongfully imprisoned. We the ones that's doing 30 years for a gram of weed, right? Or whatever number they decide to just pull out, man. We the ones that's getting that harsh judgment, harsh judgment. Even by your Vice President Kamala Harris, who's putting so many men in California behind bars, right? And she called herself a so-called black woman. But where was she at when she was putting brothers behind bars for no reason, right? For having a little bit of weed. Now they legalize weed, but they can't let the men that's in jail for weed out. What kind of mess is that, man? That's madness, right? It says, but where are thy gods? So where is your celebrities at, right? All they do is put on a basketball jersey saying, we want equality. I seen a basketball jersey, you know, when they were in the so-called bubble that said, love us. You know what I'm saying? The basketball jersey said, love us. Like, we begging our oppressors to love us, right? And then they continue to kill our people off, man, right? It says, let them arise. So let your LeBron Jameses arise, man, right? Let the Buddha arise, right? Let Muhammad come and save you, man. Let Amun Ra or whatever y'all call them gods, man, that don't do nothing for your people, man. Let them arise, right? It says, let them arise that they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. Hey, only the Most High gonna save you when you in your trouble. Only time that happens if you call on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Right? For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. Right? So look, the Most High, like, hey, have him save you. Right? Let's get that again. It says Psalm 97 and 7. Confounded be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols. Worship him, all ye gods, right? Now let's get this as a curse, right? This is going to be a curse on our people to be going after different deities and different powers, man, that can't do nothing for you. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Most High, Yahweh, right, shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto another. And there thou shalt serve other gods. So here you're going to be serving other gods when we get a scattered abroad, right? Our so-called Native American brothers and sisters, man, was out there serving other gods, man, right? You had Southern Kingdom Israelites, right, in Babylonian captivity, you know, serving other gods. Read Daniel, man. Read Bel and the Dragon, right? But you had righteous brothers that was also forsaking that too, right? It says, thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And that goes into what? Christianity, the #1 religion in the world, followed by the fastest growing religion. People don't know that, but the fastest growing religion in the world is Islam. So you got the top 2 religions, right, that our people fall under. Everybody in the church and their mama in the church, right? And when they no longer want to be in the church because the pastor did something wicked, or the pastor did something, or the deacon did, whoever, right? Something didn't go right, then they go to Islam, right? And when they find out that's a lie, now they Kemetic, right? And when they don't want to do Kemetic, then they want to be Nuwabianism, right? It's all kind of different religions, man. Every time I look up, there's a new look, a new religion, right? Instead of coming back to your power, Israel, instead of coming back to your to the Most High, instead of coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, now we got our people into worshiping animals, man, and they Hindus now, right? You got brothers that's Buddhists. The hell, how you a Buddhist? It's crazy, man. What the stuff that our people will do before actually reading this book. That's the problem. We let these pastors